Today, the world received the latest IPC report on food security in Gaza. Famine has been pushed back. Far more people are able to access the food they need to survive.
I think it's unsurprising what it tells us. Essentially, the famine conditions that we had seen previously in August have subsided, but still the entire Gaza Strip remains in phase 4, which essentially means that most are malnourished and lack food. And we can see that through the assessment that the IPC has done and what they call excess morbidity, or in other words, deaths related to many treatable illnesses and malnutrition. So the assessment is still quite alarming, and I think does not bode well for what the ceasefire promised, essentially. We have not seen the scaled up UN coordinated assistance that was hoped for. Well, the priorities in Gaza are everything. We haven't really seen much come in terms of really healthy food, medical supplies, winterization supplies, most critically. We've seen a lot of storms happening, and when those storms come, it puts people at risk of hypothermia, especially children, but also because of the lack of wastewater treatment, a lot of that water is mixing with sewage. And so we're really worried about skyrocketing waterborne diseases and infections that we could see across the winter. And we know that there are over 1 million tents waiting outside of the Gaza Strip, waiting to get in to provide some kind of adequate shelter for people. But we simply haven't seen that. And we've heard COGAT and CENTCOM say that there's about 600 to 800 trucks a day going in. But what they're doing is they're conflating commercial trucks with UN coordinated aid. And cigarettes and candy and soda are wonderful, but they do not actually respond to the vast needs of the population inside. That is completely unclear. What we had hoped is with the ceasefire on October 10th, that we would see a dramatically scaled up aid response. And what we've seen is really a trickle of aid going in. We know that there's this sort of opaque dual use list that Israel continues to have, which has included things like diapers and bandages. It's unclear how those could be used as weapons or any kind of dual use, but that obstructs aid along with many other obstructions that keep aid from going in, including the blockage of the Rafah crossing, which was the main conduit for humanitarian aid in the past. Well, I think an IPC report or any kind of UN report is going to be a bit sterile in its conclusions. But, the reality on the ground is devastating, as your reporter just mentioned. People are living in just unbearable conditions. I would say barely survivable, but a lot of people aren't surviving. And we know that hundreds have died since the ceasefire was announced. And so the reality is that what we need to see for this to be a continued sustainable peace and ceasefire is for a dramatically scaled up response that doesn't just respond to the basic survival needs of the population, but then looks towards recovery and reconstruction. And we haven't seen that at all. And so the situation remains extremely dire, especially for children in Gaza.